Hey traders from around the world, this is Jeremy Alexander Newsom with Real Life Trading. Hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. It is Wednesday, and this is likely the last real life stock review you'll get from me for about a week and a half or so. So I'll make it nice and detailed, answer as many questions as possible, and hopefully enrich some lives out there in the world. So let's first start off just looking at Tesla. As you guys know, I had some June options for Tesla, and target one was 252 and second target was 259. Did exit yesterday as we saw some reversal signals, and also I am going on a trip. June expiration is right around the corner, and if you don't have more than 3 or 4 weeks on your option to expiration, you don't really want to hold it very long, right? You want to exit if you need to get out, to decrease your theta erosion and kind of just sit back and relax and see what's going on. But my analysis as of yesterday on Tesla, 519.15, buy the bounce off the 20 or 10 EMA. So we're at the 10. We probably will actually come back to the 20 around 235 and some change and then bounce. So if you're keeping an eye on Tesla, I would watch it closely for a little bit of a bounce. I am still bullish on it to about 260 and some change. It might make it up to June, maybe July, but I am still a little bit more bullish than bearish on Tesla. But it is between, strong resistance, strong support. I want a little bit of a pullback and a bounce before getting in and having a little bit of an aggressive stop on Tesla. Here's Apple. Apple also had a trade set up yesterday, and I mentioned I had June week one calls. I had June week one calls, and my plan as of yesterday was if this channel looking thing does not break bullish, since I have June week calls and I'm already profitable in that position, if it doesn't make a higher high today, I'm gonna go ahead and exit those calls, which I did for profit. It was about probably about a 50% profit overall. I got into those calls pretty much right at the open on the 14th of May. So just holding it for about a week or so, exiting, that's totally fine, right? That's understandable. We're at some targets on Apple. And as I mentioned, going on a vacation next week, didn't really want to have a lot of positions on the table, especially with ones that are approaching expiration. So I just went ahead and just exit those. But if you're in shares, there's a lot of traders still in shares. Shares are fine. They don't expire. Ray is in a longer term call. He has July, and he also has a 127 put sale expiring this week. So as long as Apple is above 127, which I anticipate it to be, Ray's put sale will expire profitable. So Ray, great job. Brian Bodie and Stan J, they're also in a 135 covered call for June on Apple, which I love, right? If you're in a covered call on Apple, I think that's a phenomenal price. $1.14 limit. So if you have 200 shares, it's $200 of cash just into your pocket doing that covered call. Lita Roberts is a 145 July call. She's had shares for a while on Apple, so great job, Lita. And we got the June week 2 bull put spread, 119, 118, which at this point looks just totally fine and nothing to really stress about. As an update, FAS did have a split. So if you came into FAS and you're like, wow, why is it $33? Well, that is why. It had a split. So let's go ahead and do some charting on FAS really quick, which is the financial sector. And keeping in mind that today is the FOMC meeting. So there's going to be a few things that are going to be coming out today, some news and things like that. I don't know exactly how it's going to affect the market, but I'm not massively bearish on it overall. I think a little bit of a retest is perfect. But here's FAS. We had a really, really strong resistance at about 33 and some change. It broke through that resistance yesterday and then is retesting just a skosh today. So as far as that retest is concerned, just keeping a close eye on it. As it pulls back, bounces, I'll be a little bit more bullish than bearish on FAS. And just kind of keep that in mind that we're still experiencing some higher lows. So this is going to be very interesting to see if this is in fact the breakout. So there's your little triangle pattern. And we haven't fully broken out yet of at least FAS, especially after the split. We got some smaller prices to deal with. But here's some volume decline. Likely it could trade back down into this triangle, ping and pong around, and then fully break out. That also is a possibility, but I'm neutral on FAS with a slight bullish tinge, if you will. That sounds like a restaurant order. I'm bullish with a slight gravy of neutralness. Whatever, it doesn't matter. All right, so there's FAS, keeping close on that. So TTWO. Take-Two Interactive, beautiful, beautiful gap and go. Perfect gap and go yesterday on Take-Two Interactive. So, folks, I'm looking to buy the bounce on Take-Two. There's no reason not to, at least in my opinion. Inside day candle today, I think, is great. If you want to own shares, a 26 put sale is a really good put sale in my personal opinion. The long-term moving average is going to act as a little bit of a support. And the long-term moving average is about 26 and some change, 26.48. So as long as we really stay above that price, I am going to be bullish on Take-Two Interactive Software, keeping a close eye on that. Oh, by the way, just as a quick update, I will be updating our spring portfolio of watch lists today, probably sometime this afternoon. So here's the articles. If you get a chance, TTWO is in that portfolio that I mentioned a few months ago actually, about buying it and just writing out that little support level at 24.21. So if you did, great reward yesterday. Giant shout outs to Steven Steckler as well. Did very, very well on Take-Two Interactive and yesterday. So great job, Steven. Proud of you, man. Let's see what else is out there. LOCO, El Pollo Loco. LOCO, phenomenal gap today. You really did not expect it. So I did take my stop and actually move it down to break even. So 24.37. So I have a September put on this. A lot of time left. My target's about 21.23. So I do have expectations that El Pollo Loco likely could trade up just a little bit at some point and then probably roll over to target number 1 and then target number 2. So I have a September put. Now this is and you guys can see that right now I'm up about 1,300 on El Pollo Loco, which isn't as much as I wanted to be. I actually thought it would be a little bit higher, truthfully, because you know, it was a 25 put and I bought it at 24 and now it's moved $2, which is 10%. So I guess being up 20-25% is not too bad, but I guess my overall expectations is that likely it could roll up, fill this gap a little bit, roll down, and again, I have September put. So at this point, target 21.23 is where I'll exit half, and then 18.96 is really going to be, I guess, an ultimate target on El Pollo Loco based on this gap. So I'll just more or less leave that one alone because, again, you have plenty of time to expiration, so I'll just pack the bags up on that one and stop looking at it. That's really about it, guys. Like I said, there's not tons of positions in here, so just kind of keeping a close eye on it to see what it's doing and just let it chill out for just a little bit. So there's El Pollo Loco. Let's look at 2 or 3 more. GoPro right now, nice little candle, right? We did have some bullish analysis. Got in bullish. It actually triggered in bullish on the 8th of May. And I have a lot of traders in some put sales. Ron McKee had his put sale expire. Justin Linderman had his first put sale expire. And the next target on GoPro, if you are in either shares or calls, is $56.99. So right now we're stuck between the 100 and the 200 simple moving average. So kind of expect GoPro to maybe do something like that for the next few weeks and months and just, you know, be a little bit more bullish to neutral on it overall. Twitter. Beautiful candle today on Twitter, very expected. After this strong gap down, it just came into the 10 EMA on the daily and just got hammered. So there it is. There's the 10. The red line came to that yesterday and today. Beautiful, beautiful sell-off. Look for Twitter to continue a little bit lower down to about 35 bucks, and then maybe, just maybe, we'll have a little bit of a bounce on Twitter. And another good shout out to all my traders who made some money on Lowe's today. Lowe's had a black candle, gapped down, beautiful retest gap, and here is your support level, which it still has not made it to, about 67.66. So Dean Chance and a myriad of others made some coinage on Lowe's, which was kind of hard not to. Here's the stock gapped up, a little bit of a double top right there, bearish entry about 69.17, stopped at about 69.70. There's your 2R, depending on how they had their stop. 2R's hit, and great. I mean, that's really about it. So I'll be keeping an eye on Lowe's in the afternoon as well to see if I can catch a little bit of a rollover. Maybe something like this right here, bearish below 68.69 with a stop at about 69.02, give or take. So I will be watching it just to see what Lowe's ends up doing and seeing how it moves. Yoav absolutely just went bananas on TWC, Time Warner. He's at 4R, I think, right now. This was a really nice gap. A little bit of expensive stock about the 160 range, but here's the resistance, and just gapped up, cleared some very, very strong pivots. Absolutely one to keep our eyes on, and that was it. So Yoav made some R's on Time Warner. Great trade overall. Beautiful one to keep your eyes on. Let's look at Amazon and then Facebook, and that'll be it. So Amazon's at the 20 exponential moving average. which likely will act as a little bit of a support. Got two spreads on Amazon, which is the May 22nd. That's this Friday, which is the 405 400. So I'm not really massively concerned about that since it's Wednesday. Likely should be just fine. And then we have the 400 395 bull put spread. This is one you could also still consider. 400 is right here, which is below the 20 exponential. It's below the 50 exponential, and it's in a gap, and it's below the all-time high at 407.03, which is old resistance, new support. So if you want to consider that one for sometime in June, it still might have a little bit of premium left on it. Other than that, I'll just let Amazon kind of play out. It did trigger some protective puts. I likely could anticipate Amazon doing something like this and then bouncing. If I get stopped out, no worries. I will be absolutely looking to buy Amazon again with a bounce off of 407.03. And then let's just go look at Facebook. Facebook, not tons happening. We got a white candle. As long as the low of this white candle does not get taken out, I'm just slightly bullish on Facebook. Here's the long-term moving averages. The 200 is really what's been propping Facebook up. So as long as we stay above this white candle, I'm more bullish. As long as we stay above the 200 simple, I'm more bullish to neutral, which is buying calls and, buying stock and doing covered calls, selling puts, just being a little bit neutrally bullish on Facebook, which I am. My good friend Johnny Howlett has some covered calls expiring pretty soon on Facebook. So just watching that one. It hasn't really done much, guys. There's still a very, very strong resistance around 80.74. We're getting some lower highs on Facebook. So at some point, I'll just chop around. And then if and when it does really break out strongly, we could be more bullish on bearish than... more bullish than bearish on Facebook. Folks from around the world, thanks so much for watching these real-life stock reviews. I really, truly do appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Like I said, I personally will be MIA for about a week. So you can still email me. I just want to get back to you. But you can also always email Brad at reallifetrading.com, Angie at reallifetrading.com, Johnny at reallifetrading.com. We'll be happy to help answer any questions possible. Folks from around the world, have a great day. I'll see you later. And until next time, remember, love life, live life, and trade it.